Hey everyone, and welcome back to Remember This Tech. On today's episode we're going to be doing an unboxing testing of a new card today. New for this channel. It is the Intel Arc A380 low profile GPU from ASRock. You may want to get one of these cards for several reasons. One being you don't have a lot of room in your case, or you have a low profile case, or you don't have enough power from your power supply to power entry-level gaming card. And this might be where this comes in, because this unit doesn't require a separate power adapter, meaning you don't need to power it. It draws all the power from the PCI Express slot. I'm going to go over some of the specs, some of the requirements, and some of the caveats that you need to be aware of before you buy this video card, and give you some use cases for this. For instance, if you have one of these, like a low profile HP or something, you might be able to put it in there because they only come with a 240 or 300-ish watt power supply, and therefore you might be able to run it right off the PCI Express slot from that power. So without further ado, let's look at some of the specifications of this card and whether it may or may not be for you or not. This is based on the Intel Arc 3 architecture with XeSS AI upscaling, DirectX 12 Ultimate. It sports a low profile design with the 2-fan design built into it, 169 millimeters long and 69 millimeters tall. It has silent cooling, whereas this fan supposedly will stop when it doesn't need to be spinning if it's below a certain heat temperature threshold, and start back up when needed. It has GDDR6 memory. It has one DisplayPort and one HDMI port. Now, the recommendations or the minimum system requirements for this, reading right off the box now: a 350 watt or greater power supply with one 8-pin PCI power connector, PCI Express compliant motherboard with one 16x PCI slot. Now, it's funny why they would say you need a 8-pin PCI Express power connector when supposedly this doesn't take one. So did they just slap that on the box because it's like one fits all or something, and they use that disclaimer for all of their boards? I don't think so, because 350 watts really is low power. Okay, it also recommends 4 gig of system memory minimum and 8 gig or more recommended. It recommends a 10th gen Intel Core processors and higher, with a compatible motherboard supporting resizable bar. Okay, that's really important, okay, and I'll get back to that. AMD Ryzen 5000 series processors, or select AMD Ryzen 3000 series processor with AMD 5000 series AMD 500 series motherboard supporting smart access memory. And then you need Windows 11 64-bit or Windows 10 64-bit. Now, they really go to the extreme of pointing out that you need a 10th gen or higher Intel CPU, or those Ryzen CPUs that I mentioned, or higher. Because usually before that, CPUs wouldn't technically support resizable bar, and that's why they stress it. And because this graphics card really can't sometimes hit its potential without that resizable bar capable CPU. So it can be enabled and it can utilize more of your system RAM on top of what's in here. This unit has 6 gig of memory. It's meant as an entry-level graphics card. Quick sync for Plex, maybe encoding, or maybe even very light 1080p gaming. This is not meant to be a 4K 1440p graphics card. If you're looking at it, you already know what it's for. Now, there are some cases of people using older boards and older CPUs and using hacks to the BIOS to access higher memory or for the GPU. But I'm just going to go into this assuming that you're not going to be able to do that because it's quite involved for some people. So without further ado, let's open it up, see what's in the box, take a look at the card. Here we have the ASRock box. We got like a little instruction booklet, various languages, just tells you how to put it in your machine and hook it up. So we also have an important notice. Thanks for choosing. Scan this and see what it says. Minimal padding. Here is a bracket here. This is a full-size bracket. And I want to say that this is cool because let's say you don't want to use this maybe on a low profile, but you want to use it in your PC, your regular PC. You can swap it out with the one that's on here. And that's it. Nothing else in here. That is how big this little sucker is. Of course, we've got some annoying plastic covering, which without fingernails, good luck getting this off in one piece. Why would you leave this on? Well, you really shouldn't. So as said before, there's a 2-fan design, and you can tell that there's a somewhat adequate heatsink, right? Solid block of aluminum. No heat pipes at all, okay? Intel Arc ASRock. As you can see, there is no additional power connector on this, running everything from the PCI Express slot. On the output for your card, we've got one HDMI here and one DisplayPort. In reality, you know, you're running this, you probably don't need much more than that. And it's pretty cool that you have both of these, and if your monitor supports it, you can technically do dual monitor. So yeah, that is the entirety of this card, and that's why you may want to get it if you have a low profile case, entry level server to do some Plex streaming, what have you, because QuickSync is the beast when it comes to Plex streaming. So some specs about this card: it's PCI 4.0 8X bus interface. Base clock is 2000 megahertz, boost to 2050. Memory clock 1937, and 6 gig of memory. 96-bit bus interface for the memory. It's got 1024 shading units, 64 TMUs, 32 ROPs, and 128 execution units. 128 tensor cores, 8 RT cores, and 4 meg L2 cache. The use case scenario. Let's see how it fits in my HP 6300 case, shall we? Alright, we cracked open this HP case. This power supply is only 240 watts. So yeah, but with the existing bracket here, it should fit in here. This is what it does. Slaps right in place. And there you have it, the Intel Arc. So, for scale. And this will be good for a small case, low profile, low power, providing you quick sync and a little bit of gaming prowess. Now, this is a different use case scenario. You won't get resizable bar on this PC running Windows unless you do those hacks that I said to the BIOS and other registry settings. But moreover, this here has a different use case scenario, and I'm going to test this in a different video.